Good evening and welcome to Blueprint Exclusive. I'm Madhavdas G. Now, the controversy over Diljit Dosanjh's Satluj has entered a new phase. Just days after the film was pulled from ZEE5, the Shiromani Akali Dal and the Akal Takht have stepped in with separate initiatives backing the film and honouring the legacy of human rights activist Jaswant Singh Khalra. While the Akali Dal plans statewide screenings across Punjab, the Akal Takht will hold a special ardas in remembrance of Sikh youth who were allegedly killed and whose killings were documented through Khalra's work. Now, of course, Akali Dal Chief Sukhbir Singh Badal has called for special screenings of Diljit Dosanjh's film Satluj across Punjab. He's directed party workers to take the film to every village and town, calling it essential for the younger generation to understand what he describes as one of Punjab's darkest chapters. Badal says the film is about preserving history and collective memory as well. Now, after waiting nearly 4 years to reach audiences, Satluj vanished almost as quickly as it arrived. Released on an OTT platform without cuts on the 3rd of July, the film was taken down within 48 hours. And now it remains unavailable in India until further notice, though there are copies available on various social media platforms. While ZEE5 has cited current developments for the decision and says it continues to stand by the film, there's been no official ban and no court order directing its removal. Why did Satluj then remain stuck for nearly 4 years? Now, the makers say CBFC raised a series of objections that went far beyond routine certification. Amongst them were the use of the phrase inspired by true events, references to human rights activist Jaswant Singh Khalra, multiple mentions of the Punjab police, visuals of the Indian flag and Gurbani, and even the names of locations linked to alleged illegal cremations. Now, the Shiromani Akali Dal has doubled down on its plan to organize these special screenings. Now, the party's vice president has come out to say that every Sikh must know this chapter of Punjab's history and alleging fake encounters perpetrated by the then Congress party in power. The BJP, however, has hit back. Union Minister Ravneet Singh Bittu insists the government had no role in the film's removal from OTT platforms, accuses the makers of pulling it after making money, and launches an attack on Diljit Dosanjh.
Shiromani Akali Dal workers and leaders will take this movie to each village, organize special screenings so that the people and the youth of Punjab are aware of what happened in history. This film covers the period after the attack on Darbar Sahib in 1984, the Sikh genocide in Delhi and other cities, which was perpetrated by the Congress party. Every Sikh needs to be aware of the history of the period that Punjab went through.
देखो ना ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਮੁਸ਼ਕ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੋਈ ਗੜਬੜ ਆ ਵੀ ਉਹਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਵੀ 2 ਦਿਨ 3 ਇਹ ਫਿਲਮ ਰਹੂਗੀ ਉਦੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਇਹ ਫਿਲਮ ਹਟ ਜਾਏਗੀ ਜੇ ਸਰਕਾਰਾਂ ਨੇ ਹਟਾਉਣੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਸਰ ਫਿਲਮ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਤਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਚੱਲਣ ਦੇ ਰਹੀ ਸੀ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ 1 ਮਿੰਟ ਨਾ ਚੱਲਣ ਦਿੰਦੀ.
Meanwhile, AAP Punjab Minister Harpal Chima has claimed that Satluj was removed from OTT platforms because it highlights the atrocities committed by Congress and BJP in the 90s. Listen in.
की एक मैं समझता हूँ पॉलिटिकल हिस्ट्री के ऊपर डिपेंड है उसको जो है बेस बनाया गया है. तो जब पंजाब में कांग्रेस पार्टी का राज था 92 से लेकर 97 तक तो बहुत बड़े स्तर पे अत्याचार पंजाब के युवा के ऊपर हुआ, पंजाब के नौजवानों के ऊपर हुआ. उसको दर्शाती ये फिल्म जो है तैयार की गई थी. तो उसको बैन करना मैं समझता हूँ ये बहुत ही गलत बात है. और यहाँ ऐसा लग रहा है कि यहाँ दोनों पार्टियां कांग्रेस पार्टी और बीजेपी का लीडर मिल चुके हैं क्योंकि इन तीनों पार्टियों का एक कच्चा चिट्ठा जो था वो इस फिल्म में उजागर किया गया है, इस फिल्म में दर्शाया गया है.
So clearly a controversy that has acquired huge political ramifications in terms of Punjab. Of course, questions over whether this entire controversy has come up ahead of elections there in Punjab, and also big questions about what really are its implications. A short while earlier, I spoke to one of the lawyers of the family of Jaswant Singh Khalra, R.S. Bain, and this is what he had to say in defense of the film. Joining us now is Mr. R.S. Bain, lawyer for Mr. Khalra. Thank you so much for speaking to us, Mr. Bain. My first question to you is that you have backed the release of the film Satluj. You've said that it's shocking that the government is scared of a film coming out after 31 years that doesn't understand at all and just goes ahead to do whatever the security agencies say. But if security agencies in the government are suggesting that it is an issue, isn't that only fair? Because they're also talking about the lack of adequate representation of the other side, which is the role of the Khalistan terrorists in Punjab.
This picture has nothing to do with Khalistan terrorists in Punjab. Jaswant Singh Khalra was accused of no crime. He's not even one writing exists where he advocates the establishment of either separate nation or Khalistan. I know him pretty well from last 5 years before he was abducted. He was approaching the High Court, he was using legal method, but he was protesting against the high-handed extrajudicial killings. That is, if that is a crime, look, security agencies have one viewpoint, but citizen of India is the asset. You can't treat any citizen as a suspect and just shoot him dead, bypassing all legal system. That's what consistently human rights activists, even I as a lawyer, have been advocating, have been persistently advocating in court. That's what the Supreme Court says. Security agencies will be more careful. They will create all kind of narratives that it is dangerous. But if you just accept their version, then it's a police state.
Just clarify one thing. No one is saying that the documented police abuses or cases should not be talked about or that human rights violations should not be reported. By all means, of course, that has to be talked about. There is a National Human Rights Commission. Nobody's, arguing against that. But in the case of Mr. Khalra also, there were convictions where 4 policemen were convicted by courts. But just because it's a movie, is it wrong to expect to show all sides of the story, including terrorism by Khalistan terrorists in Punjab, or the multiple instances of buses and trains being stopped, Hindus being pulled out and shot? Are we supposed to overlook all of this? Because you say that there is no evidence of him, invoking Khalistan, but there are videos of him even where he is referring to Bhindranwale as a sant.
I have not come across any such movie where he is either following Bhindranwale or he was following or he has gone there. He himself was not a very devout Sikh to the Orthodox Sikh. He was more modern. He was more in the tradition of Gadar Party or Bhagat Singh or that kind of thing. He has good socialist ideas, secular ideas, and even though he's part of Shromani Akali Dal, he wanted to work in a human rights wing. He especially forced that party to create a wing which takes care of human rights of the people.
Nobody is saying police should be above scrutiny. That's certainly not my line of argument. But let me come to the film itself. There is one clip that has gone viral which shows the assassination of a chief minister in the film with uplifting music that's playing in the background. Do you think that this is something that's acceptable? Of course, human rights violations have to be questioned by all means. But can terrorism be rationalized, can be eulogized in this manner? Isn't that a concern?
You see, we have seen the celebration, even Mrs. Gandhi's assassination, there was jubilation in one section. Even Bain Singh's assassination, there was jubilation, there was sadness in another. But how do you do it? Some people are so polarizing, some people are so enraged.
But then where do you draw the line, sir?
But
you have to have some responsibility in filmmaking too.
That nobody, it's a freedom to make picture unless there is an immediate problem on the land. That if you have law and order problem right now, that's the only pretext to stop a literature piece or a picture not to be screened. What we are saying is a film made on a different aspect which you don't agree. That's what liberty is all about. If the security person doesn't agree, if you have shown the assassination, but the fact is, assassination is a very wrong precedent.
If you're talking about democracy,
and
if you're going to
thereafter
eulogize those who are killing democratically elected leaders, that's a very wrong message, because films also have an influence on the public at large. So filmmakers also have that responsibility to not do something that can
certainly
perpetrate acts of violence.
Influence, but you have a true, but then there are large number of people, large number of movies made on different themes. Is this the chief minister was no saint? If you see, you always have in any literature. Look at the Guru Gobind Singh life, which actually influences Punjab to this day. Look at Bhagat Singh life. Look at Chandrasekhar Azad. Look at the Gadri people who fought with arms. Look at Kartar Singh Sarabhai. Each one of them you can fit in as terrorists from the establishment point of view, from the security point of view, from the law and order point of view. But the human emotion, that beyond a point, if your legal system can't punish a tyrant, tyrants are killed in the past,
Let's
tyrants
not-
will be killed in the future. Tyrants are sometimes meet the same fate.
But let's
I'm not
let's
defending
bring in
them.
the
I'm not
pre-
defending them.
Sir,
But
let's
the
not bring in
fact
the
remains
pre-Independence Day
that
standards. Today we are a constitutional democracy. We have a rule of law. We have a criminal code, a penal code, etc., which we are all supposed to live by. And globally, when terrorism is a problem, we start, looking back into history and saying that in that context, what is done today is justified. There will be no end to this debate. My simple question to you is also this. This is a
nobody
film
is justifying. Nobody is justifying.
No, but since when we have a criminal justice system, however flawed it may be, one has to go by that system. You're a lawyer yourself. If we start harking back to the
Yes.
system that was there 100 years ago or 200 years ago,
That's what
then
I'm
we
saying.
go
The
into this
police is not following that. No, the police in Punjab is not following the criminal justice system. That's all what Khalra stood by. That's all we stand by. You follow we were you saying follow Tada, because they were not even following Tada. They used to kill people without even any process of law. Now, if that is a sin to protest, and what was he accused of? He is accused of no crime in his life, except that he was publicly advocating and standing by those who are killed without the due process of law.
No, but those are problems with it. We'll have problems. But let me come to the other aspect of it. This was supposed to be a theatrical release. The CBFC had prescribed 127 cuts. Filmmakers then chose an OTT release where the CBFC does not have any jurisdiction. Now, it's after this that, the government perhaps has stepped in and the film has been taken off under Section 69 of the IT Act. Why not challenge the CBFC's cuts in the court? Or why not incorporate those cuts in an OTT release then?
You see how long censor board took for a 3 hours film. You take 4 years to decide. And finally, the censor board is completely an outdated concept when you can control information. In an information age, it is almost impossible to stop. By censor board can't really stop. At best, they can stop screening films in a theater. But nowadays, who goes to theater? Therefore, wisdom would have been never to stop such a film. Now, the Sharia single judgment, the Supreme Court says, on social media, even menacing ideas are
all filmmakers have to follow in our country, sir.
Even menacing, even threatening. That's the law for the country.
So why not
Menacing,
challenge it in court?
threatening
You're a
idea
lawyer.
is not an
There are other
offense
eminent
on
lawyers who they
social
could have
media
hired.
as
They
well
could have
as-
gone to the court and had challenged this entire matter.
No, the law permit us. The law permits us to go to OTT. The government has used the power under OTT, which is actually directly against the judgment. They have done it. It will take time. But how long you can give? Look at the directors have lost. They have suffered loss. Not if they would have exhibited in film this theaters, they would have gained much. Out of compulsion, they have ultimately released it and sold it to another company who did it whatever they feel. It's more like a commercial venture. But to bury a film, it's already too late. 4 years. 4 years earlier, they showed me the script to get an opinion, whether it's legal, not legal, whether it's true as per the trial court records. I gave an opinion that this is good enough as per the trial court record. It reflects that accurately. Now, 4 years, you don't bury it by detail.
Okay.
And then saying that we are doing the legal process will take 4 years to decide whether a movie is worth exhibiting. And
Well,
people
there are
mature
movies who
enough
have
to
taken
see a
long
movie of
periods,
this
sir.
nature.
This is not the only
In my
film, but
opinion,
certainly, of
movie
course,
is good
extremely
and it should be
contentious content.
shown.
And I'd like to thank you so much, Mr. Bain, for joining us and sharing with us your views.